in the United States, hundreds of thousands of Democrat voters usually are not capable of learning much in the way of academic material, but can still vote for Kamala Harris. The intelligence level of the Kamala Harris voter is so low that they cannot be taught even these fundamental life requirements, yet are still able to cast their vote for Kamala Harris.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. I want to talk about something that we don't normally cover on this program: prostitution. Yeah, this is when somebody is getting paid for a service, and it's very transactional, okay? Let's just say it's not voluntary. There's money exchanged so that two consenting adults are able to kind of get what they want, right? So, generally seen as a grotesque practice. However, it is a practice at the very center of all politics. Members of Congress and lobbyists get paid off, okay, for their votes in support of certain issues. Members of Congress may literally find themselves inside of rooms with prostitutes if they're on the wrong sides of the intelligence agencies. That's what they have told us. They've said so live on our program, okay? Go check it out. It's pretty wild. And also, you may have like the Hunter Biden situation where you open up his laptop and you realize that he's been embezzling money from his companies and writing it off while he's been visiting literal prostitutes. Who knew? Yeah, waiting for those federal charges on the Mann Act violations. And ladies and gentlemen, prostitution is rife in the political world, and it's also rife in the media world, where members of the media or influencers get compensation for endorsements and things, or supporting certain issues. I know this because an organization approached my wife, who's a nurse, and she has an account, Nurse Kate, and a dark money organization approached her to like support Obamacare and offered her a bunch of cash to support Obamacare. Now, this is, of course, not something my wife did, but this was the offer from one of these sleazy talent management firms. And so this is commonplace, but it's getting out of control with Kamala Harris, who's a very unpopular person and therefore needs to manufacture astroturf support for herself and her message. Influencers are reporting that they're being offered lots of money to go out and support Kamala Harris. Now, I got to tell you, you'll never find my name on any of these reports. You can go check because you actually have to put this stuff into federal documentation, right? When campaigns are paying influencers, when organizations like the DNC and RNC, when you're getting paid by them, it shows up in the report. So go ahead and search my name. You won't ever find it. This is not something that I do because I want to be able to like always tell you that I'm not being paid by anyone. Okay? I'm being paid I'm being paid effectively by telling the truth, okay, and not by some dark organization. Who the hell knows from where? Forcing me to say something. I will never do that. But hot diggity damn, is that happening all across the internet? So there's a whistleblower out right now, and whistleblowers from actually across the internet are popping up saying, wait a second. There are these emails in our inboxes from Democrat-aligned dark money groups saying for a lot of money, we will pay you to say things like, Kamala Harris is awesome, or Tim Walz is very, very cool. And you can spot these videos from a mile away. Whistleblower comes forward exposing the Harris campaign for allegedly astroturfing social media support. An Instagram whistleblower with nearly 150,000 followers contacted me with screenshots of sophisticated astroturfing campaign. The email told the influencer the campaign would be a paid partnership. The woman who sent the message was named Alicia Howard, which lines up with an Alicia Howard on LinkedIn who works as a project manager. The impact connects businesses and affiliates and influencers, content publishers. So here's the actual background here. There you go. So it's one of these like dirty little management companies that sneak in and then force influencers to debase themselves like this.
Never quick to praise a white man, but Tim Walz, I like that Caucasian man. I like him. How do y'all feel? I like that Caucasian man.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Meg Thee Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States. Everybody.
We are here at the Kamala Harris for President kickoff rally with her new vice presidential pick, Tim Walz, and the crowd is on fire. Let me show you right now.
You're an influencer.
Kamala Harris picked Tim Walz. She picked Tim Walz to be VP. We're gonna win, y'all.
Bro, nobody's ever been excited for Tim Walz. What are these clowns?
The Kamala campaign working on me. Because part of me is like, yes, queen, per Brat Summer, Kamala Harris. And then I'm like, oh my god, that's a politician, actually. That's the vice president of the United States. Like, I'm still gonna vote for her, but I don't like feeling like I want to vote for her.
Oh, they're purring on you. Okay, got it. Well, great. The cat lady line becomes more true by the day. Kamala Walz caught buying social engagements. Kamala's a fake nominee with a fake personality and fake support and fake momentum. People are calling out this scam and saying, you know, effectively, there are major, major problems with this. Because one, it's just grotesquely inauthentic, okay? But then two, I mean, it's like immoral. And there should technically be laws against this. There are laws from, you know, pertaining to in-kind donations to campaigns, but they're skirting those laws by having like dark money groups swooping in. Watch.
All right, guys, time for some drag queen story hour. So about a week ago, I received this email from a group called Palette Media or Palette Management. And basically what they were asking for is $1,500 for anti-Trump content on TikTok. So they basically sent me this kind of like creator brief with all the asks that they have and everything, and like do's and don'ts, like don't show any form of support for Donald Trump and his allies, gloat about Harris and her allies, attack Trump supporters for their intellectual or personal values. So they're basically creating division and paying for division online, which is crazy. So me being me, I was like, I kind of got to investigate this stuff. So I started like emailing back and forth with the lady. So I basically said, thank you for sending over. I will review. Is this for the Kamala campaign or for like a PAX campaign? And basically I was able to investigate and find out that this is actually a campaign with Future Forward, which is kind of like one of the biggest super PACs, and they have like millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for advertisements for the Biden campaign and for the Harris campaign. So of course I looked them up and I found out all this information about all the money that they have, and yeah, you can look up them right here. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to come on to show you guys that.
So all of this stuff is fake. It's fake. Oh wow, Benny, you just found one guy, or you got one tweet from one dude. I have so many of these videos.
Got a very interesting email. So for those of you who don't know, I am a critic of the current economy. And recently I've been posting my thoughts on the economy. And, you know, obviously it's not good. I'm not saying it's Trump's fault. I'm not saying it's Biden's fault. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. But obviously Biden is president and the economy sucks. So, you know, naturally the blame lies on him. And some of these videos of me being extremely critical of the government have gone so viral that I was literally featured at 7 p.m. on primetime on Fox News the other night. And this morning I got an email from someone claiming to be from the Democratic Party. And they said, what would your rate be to post positive videos about Joe Biden? And I replied back, honestly, I know nothing about the economy. I don't pretend to know anything about the economy. And I know nothing about politics, and I'd rather stay out of it. After all, I'm just a normal guy. I'm not a politician. I'm not a conservative or a liberal talking point. I'm just a normal person. So they responded back, we understand you're not a fan of the Democrat Party right now. How much would it cost? I was like, you know what? I wonder how bad they want me to post this. 50 grand. And they said yes. For those of you that don't know anything about social media, I have another account that's massive. And like for brand deals on my 3 million follower account, I get like 5 grand. They offer me 50 grand for a video on this account with only like 400,000 followers? I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very tempted, but I didn't do it.
Okay, Ben, you just found a couple of people. Benny, you just find a few people from a few niche industries. Who cares about TikTok? What about OnlyFans? OnlyFans creator says she was paid by the Biden administration to spread political propaganda on her OnlyFans. Oh, interesting. The funny thing is, like, do not disclose this as an ad, because technically it's not a product that you have to disclose. It's an ad. That sounds like illegal. Would be very interesting. I'm sure there's plenty of federal workers who'd like to investigate OnlyFans.
TikTok, like the spring semester of my senior year, and I was like, fuck, I finally have to start applying for law school. And then like you know, female privilege, life is so easy for a, you know, woman. Obviously, I lucked out. I'm just kidding. I lucked out. And then, you know, TikTok was basically full time for me. I think I was taking ads by the time I graduated college from like the Biden administration and Planned Parenthood and like dating apps and stuff. So it was like fully financially, you know, sustaining
So you were
me.
getting, the Biden administration was buying ads from you?
Yeah, I was doing full on political propaganda.
And they would just, oh, really? With like what kind of, like Biden created 10 million jobs
Yeah,
this year?
yeah, honestly. And the funny thing is, they're like, do not disclose this is an ad because, you know, they're like, technically it's not a product, so you don't have to disclose it's an ad. Because I think they just wanted like some edgy girl of color to just tell people, like when they nominated like Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're like, can you say like as a person of color, you know, that you feel reflected? And it's like a white woman emailing this to me, and she's like giving me this script, and I'm like, no. And she's like, please. And I'm like, no, I'll like talk about the news of it, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna have a white person tell me to be like, you know, this is how I feel as a person of color. Like, it's just so, I think that black pilled me slightly on like, you know, political propaganda
So
stuff.
the Biden administration sees, oh, here's this young,
yeah, I mean, they use like a conduit. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not Biden, but it's like
Biden.
it's like a third party. You know what I mean? It's like a media company that's doing it on his behalf. I'm not blaming him for this.
Yeah, and the message is like, because you're a dark-skinned woman, you will be inspired by Ketanji Brown Jackson, and all the kids should support her.
Yeah, they're like, basically as like another black person, just say that like you feel reflected by Ketanji. I'm like, no, I'll talk about like Ketanji's background and her accomplishments, but like I never, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say like the corny stuff, even if it was a brown person emailing it to me. I'm like, no, that's not like how I feel.
So they reach out to minorities, black people, people of color. Find me a person who's not of color. It's like, I hate that term. Okay, so anyway, they reach out to specific groups that they know they are suffering with, and try and buy access. Like Kai Cenat. This is one of the biggest streamers in the world, who just had a very, very public meltdown about Kamala Harris trying to buy access onto his stream. Now, Kai is somebody who has tens of millions of followers, 12 million alone on Twitch. And so this would be like a big time stream to hop on. However, he says that Kamala Harris and the Secret Service have contacted him about a collaboration, and he gets so angry he throws his camera.
That house in New York. Then on top of that, I got the f***ing Secret Service calling me 5 times now. I don't know goddamn shit about politics, my nigga. I don't know nothing. Hey, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't give a f***. Okay? Listen, I had a bad bitch that I've been trying to get on for like the last 3 years, the last 2 years that I haven't spoke to in like a year. I haven't spoke to this girl in so goddamn long, who gonna have the audacity to text me, we need you a part of the campaign. At first I was thinking she was talking about like a game, a video game, like a Modern Warfare game, or some shit. Or if not that, a clothing brand. I'm like, what campaign? Shorty gonna say, we're not gonna get into details. Say it right now. If there's some way, somehow, something was to go into where I do the stream of politics, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm going to sit on my stream and say, why did you guys call me? Like, you know, I don't know. I've never did anything with politics. And these blogs are like trying to say, yo, we gotta do this shit, Kai. And it's all the top blogs. But I'm like, bro, since when?
So this isn't working out great. These people are being exposed, and they're frauds, and they're being paid for their support. You might recognize this dude. This is like the archetype of one of these like totally astroturfed turfs themselves. And this human walking soy frappe named Harry Sisson is like the dude, okay? So he's like exposed as being paid directly by the DNC. The DNC pays his little management company, and then Harry goes on from out of the blue and starts talking about how much he loves Joe Biden. This is super cringe and extremely embarrassing and should make you like not want to view these people's content because they're not authentic. They're not real. They're being paid for what they're saying.
Buddy, in this video, I'm going to give you a little crash course on journalism. Using a very simple example, I'm going to show you how a story becomes an angle. And today's example are these two guys. Harry Sisson, who you know is typical Democrat, and his buddy Chris Mowry. Now, the general way that a story begins is that a reporter sees something that doesn't quite make sense to them. And in this case, the thing that doesn't make sense is how have these two guys gained such traction so quickly? I mean, if you look at Harry's Twitter account, it literally says it was made in December 2011 when he would have only been 8 years old. Chris Mowry says he only sent his first political tweet a couple months ago and is not owned by any administration and doesn't work for the DNC. So you see that and you think to yourself, how did these guys blow up so quickly into these liberal TikTok stars? Well, the second part of a story is you look at a common denominator between the two things that don't make sense. And if you look at the bios of those two guys, they have the same exact email address, PalletMGMT. So now we figure out what exactly that is. And they have a website, Palette Management. It says that they are a talent management company that represents brands and content creators. It says that they provide public relations services and they even have an in-house counsel. So Chris and Harry, whose content is pretty much identical to each other, also have the same talent management company. At which point you get to step 3, figure out who's funding all of this. And a quick check of FEC records shows that Palette Management is being paid by the Democrat National Committee. They were paid over $200,000 for paid media and online advertising. When a bunch of liberal content creators visited the White House a couple months ago, the trip was organized with the help of the founder of Palette Management. And the DNC even paid them a retainer in order to cover their travel costs and expenses. So there you have it, folks. They claim they're not being paid, but they are in fact being paid. Whenever you see something like this, it never happens naturally. There's always somebody or something behind the scenes controlling everything. And in this case, it's the DNC that's paying these kids a lot of money through a talent management company in order to spread their propaganda online.
How much money do you think was exchanged between Donald Trump and Aiden Ross this week? I can tell you as a matter of fact, the number is 0. Aiden Ross wanted to do this stream, and he broke all streaming records doing this stream with nearly 600,000 live concurrents with President Trump. It was amazing. This is what authentic care and devotion and enthusiasm looks like. This is what manufactured looks like. It's all fake. It's all fake. And it's really special when it gets called out, ladies and gentlemen. As Tim Dillon did with the two aforementioned DNC simps who weren't ready for prime time. Here we go.
Very much seems that when you're talking, it feels a little North Korea-ish. You feel like you're just talking about one side, right? And you're saying, and I don't know, I've never seen a video of you guys criticizing Democrats. I've never seen a video of you guys being introspective at all. In the sense that it just seems like you're cheerleaders for one side instead of going, hey, I'm a young guy. I want to be involved, and I'm passionate about this, but maybe our side isn't perfect in this way and that way.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's actually really hard in this space, right? Like we have 45 seconds to record a video, keep people's attention. And a lot of the people on our side, if they start hearing, I've actually done it before. I've criticized Democrats, specifically Hakeem Jeffries, and it all just went south. I started losing followers. It's bad, right? And I really want to be that person that reaches the other side, because Democrats, I mean, they're horrible at their jobs, right? They do a lot of shitty things, although I'll vote for them all the time. But it's also hard in the space to criticize them.
That's good. Can we clip that quote? They're horrible
at their
jobs.
Please don't clip that. Please, no, please don't clip that. Please, no, please don't clip that.